Welcome, everyone, to Shifting the Paradigm, Creating the New Earth. I'm Angela Blaha, and my special expert today is Galitta Tassa, also known as the Happy Goddessa, which I totally love. I love the words that you play with. I just love it.
Good, I love it too.
And we're going to be talking about happiness today. So before we do that, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Galitta Tassa. I was born in Jerusalem and I come from a tribe of the Hebrews from Yemen. And I made a very different shift and came down, which you think is the opposite. I'm an artist on many mediums and I'm a mother of two. And I live happily with my Dutch husband in Holland. And I'm very interested in happiness. Apparently, I didn't know that that's what I was looking for. I'm the founder of Happy Goddessa. I had a cultural center here in Amsterdam called Fertile Ground, where all of this was cultivated, and I love it. And now I'm moving to share through the internet, so it's very exciting.
That is exciting. Okay, so happiness. What is your version, or what do you mean by being happy? That people, women especially, should be happy.
Okay, so for my version of happiness is when your soul is happy with your personality and your personality can work with your soul. So I call it the little us and the bigger us, and that there is a balance in communication between the two, because then your life mission, which is bigger than this world, is being translated into our practical little three-dimensional life. And so we live not only from the limitation of reality, but we live out of a bigger part of ourselves. And there's a very great fulfillment in that. So I teach the four voices of being, which is one element of the Happy Goddessa 13 principles. And the four voices are connecting our voices of being, so our physical voice, our emotional voice, our mental voice, and our spiritual voice, which is our inner voice, into oneness. So when I was looking how happiness is being disappearing or stolen or lost, it came all the time to this core, and this core is the element of all of those things. So it's basically your soul and your personality happily working, so working with each other. So you translating your little life out of a bigger part of yourself, and then there is a great feeling of fulfillment on all direction, on the mind, the heart, the body, and the spirit. And from every way I looked at it, it's always this rotating wheel, which I call a happiness wheel, but it's also in shamanism, the medicine wheel and the wheel of life, and in the Kabbalah and it's astrology, it keeps coming back. This is what we're missing. I mean, we went a little bit hundreds of thousands of years together with this linear kind of patriarch thinking, but actually the human needs the head and the heart, the right brain and the left brain, the self-knowing that comes from inside and the self-expression that goes out. So finding this point, this is the art of life. And it is possible. For everyone it looks a bit different, but basically the principles of the journeys are the same. So I wish that also for everyone also. I think it's really important. And especially, well, like we said, the happiness, especially for women, is not a luxury. Happiness is like your natural state of being if you're well connected. And it's something that you should allow to happen and let expand. It's not a luxury. It's something that is really necessary in order to change the world and elevate evolution and make a happy families and make a happy societies. We really have to start with us.
So how do we get to be like in a happy state all the time? Like a lot of my clients, and I'm sure some of your clients are like, they come to us in turmoil, right? So
Yeah.
how do we get them to be happy?
Yeah, well, it's a big question, isn't it?
It is a big
It's a really
question.
big question. Yeah, and this is something that even the masters are always working with. Being in this dimension with this environment, just you look at the world now, even if your life is good, we feel the turbulence, we feel the sorrow, we feel the duality of heaven and hell on our earth. This is part of this dimension. Right. So we have first to know that it's natural. It's normal. But also some of our struggles are always can be looked at as an opportunity to shed aspect of the little self of us. So when we are struggling with something, we have to honor what we feel, but we need to work with different aspects of ourselves in order to create movements. And this is what all of the teachings of all of the wonderful techniques and systems are about. But it comes back to us and really be aware about first our soul, the bigger picture of why we are here, and also our little ego and its own fears, and stay awake to what's happening. So then when something difficult happens, you can start to place it and to go like, oh, this part that I am aware about is now really knocking on my door and force me to look at this shadow. So there is no happiness without working with the shadows, working with the emotions that are difficult, realizing that creating space for more light to come. This is the journey. This is the work. Look, let's not call it work. Let's call it play. Because, sometimes you're just sobbing and life is hard, and there is no play to be had at all. Yes, but also to go through all of our levels of emotions and let them be, but do come from get out on the other side, back into light, back into the big picture. I think they should teach this in school, because this is life. We need that in every aspect of realizing these motions that life is.
Right.
It's not only for the theologues to philosophize about.
Right, exactly. Well, and since we live in a world of duality, we do have, shadow sides, we have, the ego, but I think it's important to note and to express how we need to not stay in those periods of time very long, because they don't serve us, for one thing, when we get stuck in those kinds of periods.
Yeah.
So how does happiness serve us?
I think happiness is the reason why happiness is important is because it's asking us to elevate ourselves to a higher frequency, because on this earth at this time, very easily you can fall down. There are millions of things that can bring you down. To go down is the easiest thing there is.
Right.
The work, the exercise of life is to find the ways that bring yourself up. For every person it's different, but there are some things all humanity experience. We all have that music changes our mood, that moving the physical body is so important. I will always preach to use your voices. Because if you use your physical voice, or if you give a voice to your emotional voice, or if you're aware about the mental voices that takes you out of balance, if you make a connection with your inner world voices, this is all things that support the center point. But this is how life is. I mean, we are not going to go on the Himalaya and just want to have a connection with source. We are here in life, and one of the most difficult things in life are relationships. Mm-hmm. Relationship is the hardest thing for our brain to do for a reason. It is challenging different aspects of our little self, the jealous, the afraid, the doubtful, and taking our relationship and our communication and our treatment of ourselves, which was one of the biggest relationships, is the challenge of how you grow. So it's all about soul growth. So that's why happiness is the word I'm using, that it can sound, psychologically or very general, but it is about this elevation into joy, which is the natural state of our soul. And our spirit just want to give that opportunity to connect it to our body and to this life and to the mind we have in this body.
Right.
So it's actually a very spiritual journey, but on the practice, the way you think and feel about yourself and about the world will reflect your happiness, and the way you treat your children reflect your family happiness. And there we're expanding to how our societies are. And now we can see some countries are miserable, and it's coming into countries where are less miserable because the society is different. And we are all in it together. Have to balance it out.
Right.
I said back to compassion and love. Like
Right.
the center of the Goddessa wheel is love. You know, you have all this aspect, all the possibilities, all these things, but core self-love, love to the other, love to life, love to what is as it is. And it's hard. It's sometimes really hard. Sometimes you go like, oh, I cannot do that today. Today I'm just going to feel miserable with permission from myself. I know I had one last week. Yeah.
Oh, funny. How do you get people to hold that happiness vibration? Do you just tell them to use their voice, or what's the
I will always say to use your voice.
what does that mean?
Use your voice is a daily thing, especially if you are not a singer, because it's not about singing pretty. You know, here in the West, I see people think that they have permission to sing if they can go and be in the opera house. No, singing is just because you're alive. I come from a tribe where creativity is so intertwined with life. I mean, everybody, and for no reason other than living, is singing and dancing, sewing and crafting. This is what life is. This is how you connect to the biggest source, and this is how you connect to your family. But here in the West, there's some segregation happened that you can have a creative life only if you can earn money from it. And I think creativity is much more than painting and singing and dancing, which I love and I do all, and I will tell everybody to do all, because if you are a being with a soul, it can be expressed in the arts.
Right.
And the art will always connect you back to your original self, and happiness comes from that, in my book. Mm-hmm. So, self-knowledge and self-expression,
Right.
and expanding of that. Yeah.
Right. So how does this play into relationships? How does happiness, relationships are just as hard as everyday living, sometimes harder.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Because the other always will trigger the ego part that believe in the separation. Mm-hmm. So other people will reflect the stuff that we don't want to see. So you can say that the best way to grow and to learn and to have a soul satisfaction is with relationships. So, but I think the first relationship is the relationship we have with ourselves. Yeah. And in the Happy Goddessa, we have that 4 voices. So for example, now, according to the wheel, we are in the summer. Mm-hmm. And the summer is the element of earth, and it's the element of the body. It's the element of expanding your relationship to the physicality. So in this time of the year, we are working about body love, about loving your body as it is, your physicality as it is. And in the autumn, we will go into the heart, into the water element, into the emotional life, and work with relationships. So there is kind of an order of natural life. There are some things that are your strongest point can be your mental plane. You can be really commanding and strong in your mental thinking, and that's your strong point. But your physicality and connection to the physical body, you have a distance. So your work on your own happiness will be to expand the parts where you less comfortable, mm-hmm. and enjoy the part that you're strong. Everybody have it somewhere else. So I have that. My spiritual part is really strong. My emotional part is where it's very turbulent. Mm-hmm. So I know that for myself, the part of me that will bring me down will always come from this side. Let's say the devil that will take me down will always come from the emotions when they are too much. For another person, it will come with their relationship to the body. So we all have it somewhere else, but basically it starts with that relationship.
Right.
So when you do you, mm-hmm. there's already expansion of happiness, because actually more that I work with people, I can really see one of the biggest things that contributing to misery mm-hmm. is the negative self-talk, mm-hmm. like being really cruel to ourselves. I know all about it also. I went from one side to the other side. This not self-love not loving what we are, like rejecting the part of the shadows of who we are, the ugly part, the stupid part. This is where we lose height.
Right.
We lose height. And then from there it reflects to the way you build a relationship with your partner or with other people. And basically, more that we have a good relationship with all parts of ourselves, also the stupid and the ugly and the unworthy. If we have that, we are not getting triggered by other people. So working on yourself will transform your relationship with other people. Like if I hate something about myself, like if I hate the fact that let's say I don't like the quality of being pathetic. For me, pathetic is the trigger word. I don't like. When I see people who I consider pathetic, they will piss me off. And then you can have clashes. And that will come in your life in order for us to evolve something, to see something. So I will say, if you want to work on your relationships, you have to find where the reflection is in you. And the moment we do ourselves, it's automatically changed outside. It's never the person outside.
Right.
But we forget that when we are pissed off when our husband is going the wrong way. I mean, who remember that then? But when we are cool-headed, we...
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have a daughter. I have two children. I have a boy and a girl. And my daughter has a syndrome well, she can talk very well, but her understanding of the world is very difficult. So she has severe learning disability of life,
Right.
but she's also an amazing person. And she can be triggered so easily, and then she gets into this stress that is contagious. So for my daughter can be very difficult for me, and she's now 16, and I had not easy years trying to raise her, but she was like such an amazing teacher to see my own mental thing and my own mental triggers to stress. So it's not my daughter's fault if I'm upset. I kind of learned, and I'm still learning, and it's not easy, and I don't know if it ever will be easy. But now I also know a little bit more about the brain. I mean, she was a really good coach for me because our brain influence each other. So if you want to influence a room, you bring your state of mind into peace.
Right.
That's why I'm so interested in creating this sound journey online, that we connect, we use music, we meditate, because our brain influence each other. It influences the field. So if you have one person in the family that has a problem with stress or with emotions or with violent verbal thing, it influences us, but it's not her problem. This is her, the way she works. The way I manage with it would be my opportunity to expand myself. And sometimes we want to say to the expansion to go and fluke off, and we just want to have peace of mind. But that's always the invitation, this opportunity to learn to be better, to be more patient, to be more accommodating, to create a space where something not pleasant happened, but you're not involved in it. There's so many levels of learning, and it's great opportunity.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, how do you use sound to raise the vibration into happiness?
Well, sound is amazing. In the oldest books of the Kabbalah, they say the world was created with sound. We know that also with science. Sound is vibration, is everything. But I would like to talk a bit more about the power of the voice, because the human voice is amazing.
Right.
First, because it's a sound, but it's connected to our physical limited body, but it can bring you your bigger self into your body. Sorry, I was sick, so my voice is still
No
losing.
worries.
Yeah, but and everybody have a voice,
Right.
and it's something that you should use. So the voice vibration of a human voice, first, it has its own fingerprint. It affects our body. It affects our immune system. It affects our nerve system. It has amazing influence on us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, even without learning anything, just singing in the shower, you can feel the difference. When you sing in the shower and you let some things get open, or when you express your emotion with sound, or when you hum to your child, this, you can use a little bit of it, but you have the whole voice. You should see what you can do to expand how you feel in your body and to expand how you are connecting with other people. So the voice is huge. The human voice is huge, and your particular human voice is huge to your matrix of who you are and what you're bringing. So I want everybody to sing, and not only to sing, it's also to chant and also to talk and also to how you use your words, how you not only pronounce your words, but what words are you talking? Now we come a little bit to connection to the mental voices. What are you saying? When you said something, it already was a thought, and it was born from a thought, a belief, and coming to action. It's very very powerful to work with the voice in speaking, in singing, in connecting to the inner voice, and in expressing. It's the most available tool we have.
Right. I noticed that a while back how like sometimes I can say things in my own head, but when I voice them, like literally put it out into sound, it's like frightening. Right?
Yes, because then you see what's there.
Yeah.
But you mean when you turn it into, when you take the sentence, this is, I gave to my people this homework of, like, sometimes you feel good and then something happened and you don't feel very good and you feel that you lost the taste of joy, and you go, what backtrack, what did just happen?
Right.
And say, oh, I just saw this dress and I realized that I cannot wear a dress like this anymore, because, so the thought brought you down. Right. And being aware about the, in Healing Tao, they call the cheese flickering. They say flickering between thought, emotion, thought, emotion, thought, emotion, thought, emotion. Right. Now science talk about that the same, which is Joe Dispenza. You know him. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when there is a dark thought that comes and ruined all of the fertile ground of your life, but you catch it and you go like, what is it that I'm thinking? Oh, I'm thinking that I'm not worth happiness because it comes from my family line, because I got it somewhere, because it doesn't matter where it comes from, but you catch it. Right. You can do something with it. So when you voice it and you go like, this is what I'm thinking and believing. Yeah. and then you can come to the question, does it serve me? Do I need it? And then sometimes you need manually to change it, to go like, I don't believe that I deserve happiness. And then to manually change it to, I do deserve happiness. I'm a soul in a body. Everybody, if you think about it, you go like, of course that it's a belief that has no foundation. Mm-hmm. And then you use your voice to change it, because speaking it is more powerful than just let it drift in your mind. So sometimes catching it, changing it, and using your voice to have an incantation when you say, I deserve happiness. I deserve happiness. And it may be in the beginning you say, I deserve happiness. It doesn't come out. But this is the best way to try immediately with your body, or to voice the things that you want.
Right. So I think that should be.
I like EFT because you say it loud.
Yeah.
You know EFT, emotional freedom technique.
Yes.
In the same way, it takes it and it turn it into something that transforms your whole nerve system.
Right. So I think that should be a good exercise for everyone who's watching this, is to say, I deserve happiness out loud.
Yes.
Rather than just in our head. Yeah.
Let's do it together.
Okay.
So we will take a big breath, because all these things just standing in the way. So we take a breath and we shower ourselves. So we take one breath like this. Well, if we just do that. So you saw that I did this with my hands, but I also did the sounds of ha. So according to the Taoism, the clank, the sound, the vowel of ha is vibrating the heart energy. So the moment we will take a breath, which is very powerful by itself, can have a whole course about that, and we move our body, and then we take the sound of ah, we already cleaned some garbage we don't need, and we're creating room for more light to come in. And we just did one, and we need to do three.
Okay.
So we do another one.
Yes.
Like really with kindness and juiciness and allowing, yes, all the way, like into the earth, all the things we took. And the last one, we will do another sound, and it will be ee. And that's a cooling sound. So that's also had a different vibration with different intention. We'll do that again. Okay, so now we're a little bit clean, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Very calm.
So just for the intention, let's put our hands on our heart.
Okay.
And what should we choose? I think it's very good to say, I deserve happiness. And I would even take it to be I am, because the power of I am as a spoken word, and I am allowing happiness to come.
Yeah.
And I allow joy to come. And I am delighted to experience new things. And I'm sharing joy with you, Angela.
Thank you. Because I love this.
Yes. Yes. And anything that we feel is necessary. I have a voice. I can use my voice. There is no argument against that sentence.
Right.
You are allowed to use your voice. It will be such a blessing for us if you will use your voice, because we just together bring higher vibration of joy. And the world needs that, isn't it?
Yes. You know, that's a good point. You know, when you said, I am my voice, or I can use my voice, you know, I'm always telling people to step into their power and, you know, stand in who they are. That would be a great exercise to do, to like almost raise the vibration of who we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if it
powerful.
stays just an intellectual idea,
Right.
we have to bring it into the body. We have to connect it to the emotion. And we have to call all of the universe to bring it in. I'm doing this right, left, and south, and it's because the voices are on particular part of the wheel, the north, the south, the east, the west. But this is help us also visually to see, yes, I think I need to take more command of my life. It's not just a theoretic idea. Bring it to my body. I use my voice and I say, I command my life.
Right.
And maybe some emotions will come out because this part of us going like, I don't command my life. Everybody commands my life. But like, I command my life, but we listen to that shadow.
Right.
We give it a chance to be what it is. And there's so much exercises and lovely things you can do to enhance those things.
Yeah, you know, and I never really thought about using the voice like as the activator for happiness.
Yes.
Right? That's huge.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
think
it's huge.
yeah, and it's
For me,
very
it was
powerful.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yes.
so cool. Okay, to wrap things up a little bit here, Galitta, what else do you have to share with our listeners today?
Well, the thing is that it is a journey. The journey starts by you realizing, hey, I can decide that I'm taking that journey to expand myself. And it's okay and it's allowed, and to support yourself in it. So I would say, even if you're not doing anything particular, this consciousness of getting up in the morning, and the first thing that you do is that you put a smile on your face, even if you didn't wake up with one, and you say, today I'm going to experience great things. I'm going to, I am breathing. I am alive. Thank you for my soul coming back to my body. And being aware about all of your four voices, just because you have that opportunity. You know, we came here to this place because there are so many experiences to have. So it's a journey. Nothing is perfect. We're not going for perfection.
No.
We just go to evolution and you try to expand the times that you have joy. And what gives you joy? What gives you joy? For this person to be with other people, to take care of other people is the point of joy. For this person, point of joy is to work with how things work. So it's you have to know yourself and then express what it is. That's it. So every day, who am I and how can I express that? How can I show it to the world and how can I enjoy it myself?
Yeah. Great points. Great points. All right, so everyone, all of Galitta's information is found in this email and attached to this video. So look her up, look up the happiness wheel, and I just want to say thank you so much for this. Is just so happy. I'm just so happy today.
Good. That's the point.
Yeah. So
Good.
everyone, use your voice to create happiness and to keep your vibration high. And thank you again so much, Galitta, for being on as an expert today.
It was totally my pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.